Good morning, children. Today I am going to start the new lesson for you, the water, which is the sixth lesson, and the first part of this lesson I am going to start, children. So, the water is the heading of the lesson, and it tells you the what is the importance of a water. So, you have to first know the very meaning of the word vote. In every democratic country, every citizen gets the right to vote, which is a fundamental right to him. This vote makes you know how important your vote is to form a government. So when elections come, the person who is adult, that is when he reaches the age of 18, he gets the right to vote in elections. So that is the importance of your vote. So voter has to think a lot before putting his vote. If he is educated, it's well and good. So education in a democratic country is very important, where he knows the value of his vote. So this lesson what we are going to go through, the voter, has been written by the Nigerian author Chinua Achebe. When we are going to go through the introduction of the author Chinua Achebe, he was born in 1930 and he died in the year 2013. He is a Nigerian novelist, poet, professor, and a critic also. Achebe's novels usually they focus on the traditions of Ibigo people. Ibigo society is where these Ibigo people lie, and usually they are the members of the people of usually who are in southeastern Nigeria. They have got their own customs, traditions which are followed. ನಾವು ಬುಡಕಟ್ಟು ಜನಾಂಗ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ತಮ್ಮದೇ ಆದ ಪದ್ಧತಿಗಳನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮದೇ ಆದ ಆಚರಣೆಗಳನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪಂಗಡ ಅದು. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಬಿಗೋ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಅಂತ ಇಬಿಗೋಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇಬಿಗೋ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇ ಆದ ದೈವಾರಾಧನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವರು ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇ ಆದ ದೇವರುಗಳನ್ನು ನಂಬಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಕಲ್ಚರನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಂಥ ಜನ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಆಫ್ರಿಕನ್ ಕಾಂಟಿನೆಂಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಾಮನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಬಿಗೋ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್, and the effect, what was the effect of that, the Christian influence on these Ibigo people, and not only that, and the clash of Western and traditional African values. So when Christianity was introduced here by the whites in Africa, the influence of that on the Ibigo society, which had their own African values during and after the colonial era. So we saw how Christianity was introduced in India, how many of them got converted. They were the original land people, how they got influenced by this. We saw the introduction, how the English colonies were formed here and how it became. Like that only in the African continent, the influence of the Western and traditional African values during the and after the colonial years it is said. His style relies mainly heavily on Ibigo oral traditions. So instead of having Ibigos have got their own oral traditions where and combines straightforward narrations with representations of folk stories, proverbs and oratory. So only this is which are usually they are in oral, whatever the narrations have been here about the Ibigo's oral traditions. And he also published a number of short stories, children books and essay collections also. Some of his works are Things Fall Apart, Arrow of God, No Longer at Ease, Enemy of the People, Girls at War. So this is the end of the introduction of the author, children. So let us go with the introduction of the lesson. Already I have told you the meaning of voter, where every person has to understand the value of his vote, and the one who votes become the voter. So first, in a democratic country only we find the voting system. And here, when we come to the pre-reading activity which is there, it has got two of the questions which have been asked here. That is, do you have a voting system in your college? So usually in colleges where the students select their leaders to in the through voting in colleges. So we may not have in our college we may not have a voting system, but there are many colleges where the voting system is there. Usually we see in the degree classes, in higher universities, where we see the students send their representation by putting vote to a student who stands for election, and then he becomes the leader who sees who gives the students who represents from the student side to say whatever the students want to have the communication with the college management. So here for that, an election in the colleges do take place, where there are more than two or three students or four students who stand for the election, and there all the students have the right to vote, and these votes which are put by the students, the highest number of vote who gets, he becomes the leader of that particular students wing in that college. So that is how the voting system helps in a college to select the student leader, and he will be communicating the students' problem or what are the students want or demand to the college committee. And now let us go with the second point. To what extent is voting important for democracy? So in a democratic country, it is very important to have the voting system. So here in a democratic country, where we see we send our representations to the form of government, whether it's in the center or in the state, by using our voting powers. So here every vote is very important in a democratic country. So we have seen some elections where some of the members have lost by one vote also. So they may be equal numbers, but the one who has got the highest number of votes, sometimes if one vote is also less, it becomes he loses his he loses his constituency. So what we have seen is every voting system is present in only in democratic countries. In a democratic country, where we see there are in some countries there are only a ruling and an opposition country. Only two parties rule in some countries, like in America we have got a Democratic and a Republican party. Whichever party is there, there is only one opposition party. But in other countries we see, like for example in India, we have got a multi-party system, where we just go with many of the parties participate in the elections. So every party here has got its own leaders, and here we have got when we in a democratic country when we reach to a particular age, we get automatically in a fundamental right, after reaching the age of 18, we get the power of voting. So when we are completed our 18 year, when we come to the age of 18, when we complete it, we get the right to vote. So in a democratic country, it is very important to know the importance of your vote. So if he is a well-educated person, education is very important to understand what your voting right is. So how important it is to know the knowledge of what importance your vote has got in a country. So in elections. So when we tell about our own rights to vote, we have to understand what are the importance and what is my duty as a voter, and how to select and what importance it has got to participate in this election. So in a democratic country only, we have got this free will of choosing whomever we want through our voting system. So there may be a two-party system or multi-party system, But an individual who has got a right to vote after the age of at the age of 18, he knows the value of his vote. So the highest number of vote whom he gets becomes the leader of a particular party, and he is selected to form his own government in a democratic country. Now, so that is how we see the importance of in a democratic country, how much voting is a very important system there. So in elections, we select our leaders through our vote, and the highest number of votes who gets becomes the successful one to go and form a government. So this in a democratic country only we have got this voting right, but in other countries where communist party is the ruling, they don't have any voting system there, because the government itself is the head of the becomes the head, and there is no opposition party at all. Whatever the decision of the government taken by a communist party, that is the final one, where the opinion of the citizen is not important here, because that is the soul and whole. Whatever the government does is always correct there. And we have got the people where we have seen some countries which have been ruled by a dictator also. Earlier we had some dictators. So for example, we had Hitler was a dictator. Like that, Idi Amin from Uganda, he was a dictator. We have been having one or two examples of some dictators who have ruled their country, and where they used to be the final, their words were the final words, and no opposition party at all was there in their system, and there was no elections also, because the dictators are the ones who just see themselves as the boss of that particular country, and whatever they do and they say, and whatever they do is always right, and he becomes the dictator. So we understand about the the importance of voting in a democratic country, and whether we have got a voting system in a college. So two of these points we went through, children. And now let us go through the picture which has been given here. So a picture which depicts a man here, and he has got a piece of paper in his hand, and we see that he is standing in a particular booth here, or a place where it is covered from the back, and there in front of him we see a box which has got a hole in the middle, means it has got a place where his vote is important. So we come to know that this is the particular hero of this particular story, that is Rufus Okeke. Here we are talking about the story which has been given here by Chinua, and he says that this figure what we have got, this picture which we have got here is about Rufus Okeke, and in his hand we have got this paper, a piece of ballot paper. A ballot paper is very important in elections. So I represent myself with my vote, where I put a symbol on a particular picture, or a symbol which has been given in an election, where I would like to vote to him. And in front of him is a ballot box, where he puts his vote after putting the symbol for whichever party he wants to put. He folds it, and then he puts the secret voting in this ballot box. And this is how we have been having the introduction of the hero. So we come to know that particular hero of this particular story is Rufus Okeke. Let us get introduced to the story now, the short story which has been given to you by Chinua. Here, this Rufus Okeke is the full name, but he is popularly known in that village as Roof by short. So the Roof is a very popular boy and the man in his village, in his native village, because people feel very proud to have him called as Roof, because all their gratitude for whatever he does. He does good for his people of the village. There are many of them who are educated, but who have gone in search of work to other towns and municipalities. They have gone in search of work, not one work or any other work to whom. Most of the young people who know a bit of education, who can earn, they usually leave the villages and go to the nearby towns, and they get settled there by working and earning there. But Roof didn't do that work. Though after his in his younger age, when at this particular age, he may he didn't leave his village like other people, go in search of work and get settled in towns. Though we know that Roof also left his village at a particular time. Though he is from this village only, he had gone to Port Harcourt, which is the capital of Nigeria, where in this port, in this particular, excuse me children, in this particular port, he had gone of his free will to form a bright future. What he did, like many other people who go to towns, they just don't come back, but he was not like that. So in this particular port Harcourt, he would have gone there, and what we have seen is he had worked as 2 years as a bicycle repairer apprentice. And here he had learned about 2 years, he learned that he went through the training of repairing the bicycle. But after learning and being in a town for 2 years, he once again would have come to the village and returned to his village, and he was at the service of his village people. He wanted to do the service of the village people, and people were very proud of him because he didn't abandon the village like all other young men and go and get settled in towns and for their own selfish motive of earning. But here he comes back to the village and he gives his service to the village people, where the people of the village are very proud to very proud about him, that he didn't abandon like any other young man. So what we come to know is, though he had gone through the bicycle repairing apprenticeship is a training period. So they may have in apprenticeship, what they do is 2 years he might have gone through the learning of getting the training of the apprenticeship, but in that also they are paid a bit of amount for the training what they go through. So, and had given up of his free will with a bright future in the village, and he had come to his people to guide them in their difficult times. And not that Yumifo needed a lot of guidance. Yumifo is usually it is what we call as Yumifo is one of the fictional groups of 9 villages in Nigeria. So 9 village group which is there in Nigeria, usually which is represented by this Ibigo people. The 9 villages which are there, mostly populated by the Ibigo people, is called as Yumifo. And what is which is inhabited, where these people live together, is called as what we have been calling as Yumifo. The villages already belong to EMAS, to the people of People's Alliance Party. So in this particular Yumifo, most of the people who are living in this particular villages of 9 villages who are following the Ibigo, so who are the followers of the Ibigo society, they have got one particular party. They have got their mind. More than 90% of the these particular Yumifo are the followers of the People's Alliance Party. People's Alliance Party is one of the parties which was the ruling party of this particular Nigeria at that time. And the head of this particular Yumifo was none other than the Chief Honorable Marcus Ibe, who is the head of the People's Alliance Party. And this Honorable Marcus Ibe was also the cultural minister in the outgoing government. At present, the government which has been dissolved, where it had run for 5 years. In that, this People's Alliance Party head, Marcus Ibe, who also belongs to this Yumifo, the 9 village group of Ibigo people, he represents them, and he was also the cultural minister on that particular party. At present, there is a possibility in the election, once again he may win and he may be elected and he may be as a minister once again. Nobody doubted that the Honorable Minister would be elected in his constituency once again. So there was so surety, that they were so guaranteed that once again if he stands for election, he will win the election. Opposition for him was not at all countable. Whoever stands opposite to him, they won't even get 1 or 2 votes. That much guarantee people had that he was considered to be the boy of that village, and he was considered to be the most important person. They were very proud to have this Marcus Ibe as a boy of their village group, and the UMIFO organization was very proud of this particular Marcus Ibe, who was the head of the People's Alliance Party. Opposition to him was like a proverbial fly, so it was just nobody could win against him, and they say that it would have been ridiculous enough without coming as it did now from a complete non-entity. Not an important matter at all to think that anybody could stand against him and win the election. That was the way this UMIFO, where he represented the Ibigo people of the UMIFO, and he was also the cultural minister of that particular outgoing government. So children, I would like to end my part of the lesson today, and here I end the first part of the 6th lesson, that is the voter, children. Thank you.